It's that time. I've got 5 books back here, just came in from CGC. I actually forgot what these books are. So I'm just going to get them unboxed, get the grade hidden on them, try not to look at the grades, and then we'll just go ahead and go through them together. So let me get that done and we'll be right back. All right, I got them unboxed. And the first book is a G.I. Joe number 51. Several first appearances in this book. I got this, I believe, in a local comic book shop in Charlotte for a really low price. I thought it was about an 8.5 when I got it. But it looked like a strong possibility of getting a 9.8 after clean and press. So I went ahead and submitted it. I don't think it's a hugely valuable book, but it is a key. It does have a lot of first appearances. And it's just a cool cover. If you like G.I. Joe, you're probably going to love this cover. So we're hoping to get that 9.8, but I really don't know. 9.6, 9.8 would be perfectly fine. Okay, we got the 9.6, which is fine. I thought it was a 9.8. So it's one of these rare occurrences where I think a book is a 9.8 and it comes back a 9.6. I don't think there'll be grader's notes, but if there are, I will check those. Now, I hope this isn't a kind of a harbinger of things to come, but usually I'll lead off with one of my highest grade books. So to get a 9.6 on this one, this could be our first harsh grader. Hope not, but we'll see what happens going forward. I'm definitely not going to resubmit that one, I don't think, though. It's not a very high dollar book or anything. The next one, oh yeah, this one, okay. So this is Punisher number 29. It's the pink cover. And yeah, it's got a lot of cool characters that show up in this book that don't normally show up in the Punisher universe. So, yeah, it's just a commanding presence. Punisher, I mean, any Punisher fan's going to love this book. And I just thought it was ultra high grade. I thought it was a 9.8 before I even worked on it. And I went ahead and got the couple little minor negligible or whatever defects out of it. So this is 100% a 9.8. So if this one is not a 9.8, we will know this is a harsh grader, because this is like a 9.85 here, right? Okay, so we got the 9.8. So okay, yeah, we're back on track here. Very happy to get the 9.8. And once again, this book is perfect. I mean, it's not 9.9, but it's definitely not a 9.6. I mean, it's pretty flawless. And I didn't write down the exact defects, but, if I think it's a 9.8 before I even work on it, then it must be one or two negligible little defects on it. So, yeah, definitely happy to get that Punisher in a 9.8. So now, Amazing Spider-Man 328. This is a book I feature often because it's just one of my favorite covers. And I pick it up whenever I get a good price on it. I thought this one was a 9.4 when I got it in. And I don't submit this book unless I think it can get 9.8. A newsstand, I might submit it if I think it can get maybe 9.6, 9.8, but this is 100% a 9.8, or I would not have submitted it. Now, you can see there's a little bit of a miswrap. See, there's more white here than up here. But that does not and should not affect the grade. So once again, this is a 9.8. So let's see if our grader was agreeing with me on that. Okay, he gave me a 9.6, so this guy's definitely a little bit harsher than I'm used to, because once again, this is a 9.8 book. I'm 100% confident that I would resubmit this, and at least 80-90% of the time get a 9.8 on this book. I've got 9.8s that are not nearly as nice as this book. So, yeah, we got our first harsh grader, but that's okay. We still got a 9.8 and a couple 9.6s, so, it is what it is. This is why I submit 5 books at a time, by the way, and it's the main reason. First of all, the cost really isn't that much more expensive for shipping and everything if you submit only 5 books versus 10 or whatever. And then you just mitigate your risk. If you happen to get a harsh grader, at least it's on 5 books. And then the next 5 books, maybe not so much. But you'd hate to submit 40 books or 25 books or whatever and get a harsh grader for all 25 of those. That would really, I mean, it's easy to resubmit 5 books. It's hard to resubmit that many, right? Just too much cost involved with that. So, yeah, I got 2 Web of Spider-Man 1s here. And once again, this is a book that I bought a lot of copies of back probably 2 years ago. Or when I first got back into the hobby, this is a book I always wanted an ultra high grade. I did have a copy, but it was not ultra high grade. And I found out you can get this book at anywhere from $5 to $30, kind of like the Amazing Spider-Man 328. So I bought a bunch of these. And the ones that I thought were best, I am submitting. So this is definitely the next two. One of these two is definitely a 9.8. One I put on here 9.6 to 9.8, like borderline, but it was probably more of a 70-30, 9.8, 9.6. So I'm expecting, at worst, two 9.6s here, but it would be great to get one of these in a 9.8. So let's see what the first one is. Okay, so we got our first one at 9.8. Hopefully this is the one I thought was 9.6 to 9.8, because the other one is a nicer copy. Wow, that is a nice looking book. And it's white pages. This book is notorious for getting off white to white pages, so anytime you get white pages, celebrate it. Yeah, that's a good looking book. Yeah, nothing wrong with that book. There's your consummate 9.8. Wow, that thing looks nice. It's got one little bindery tear there, but other than that, that is definitely a 9.8. And the last one yet is another copy of Web of Spider-Man #1. So yeah, once again, hoping for the 9.6 or 9.8, but would love to have the two 9.8s. But once again, I put down 9.6 to 9.8 on one, so I'm not going to be shocked if it's 9.6 or even 9.4. I mean, it is not out of the realm of possibility here. So let's see. Okay, two 9.8s. So yeah, very happy to get the 9.8, the two 9.8s on the Web of Spider-Man. So, we did get the two 9.6s, and I don't want to sound like a brat, They are 9.6s, and the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8, we know, sometimes is not much. So I'm not really complaining. This one I thought was a 9.8, but I wasn't like 100% sure, because it almost looks like it could have some fading on it. I'm not familiar enough with the book to know, so that could be it. And once again, I'll take the notes if there are any. They aren't usually at that high of a grade. This is the one that I would question is not a 9.8. And I know it's miswrapped. You can see a little bit of the interior book showing here and the white showing here, but that should not count against you. This book is pretty nice. So I'm going to give this one a hard look. It's definitely not cost effective to crack this book because of the dollar amounts. But if I think it's a 9.8, I don't care what the dollar amounts. I'll take a little hit on it just to get a 9.8. It's supposed to be a 9.8 to the 9.8, but we'll see. But yeah, I'll probably just be happy to keep it at a 9.6, but I'm not ruling out the possibility. So once again, a very fun and submission for me. I've got three 9.8s and two 9.6s, so hey, can't complain about that, right? So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year if I don't see you before the New Year. It's been a fun year for me. I've gone from like no subscribers to well over 2,000 now in pretty much 1 year, and I can't believe it. I can't thank you guys enough for actually tuning in and watching my channel. Watching some old nerdy guy just having fun, in a closet, playing with his childhood hobby, right? So that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.